Good. Taking one more to each side. We're just going to work into the mid-spine. So what we're going to take here is hips are going to slide back, big reach forwards, and up to stand. So thinking deadlift hinge, you want to be able to wiggle your toes, you can soften the knees and the hands reach up overhead, which is technically out in front of you. And here, if that's still early, you can have your hands on your hips to give yourself a little support into that hinge. I'm a fan of holding from that hinge position just a couple seconds. Taking deep breaths, trying to stretch your fingertips as far away as you can from your heels. And you can do it with your arms straight, or you can even, we'll say, like interlace your fingers to add some extra opening to the backs of the shoulder capsule. Take two more in total. And the knees can be as soft as you feel comfortable, whether the legs are straight or it's a little bit deeper. And then we're going to move right into a forward fold and some sumo squats. So whenever you're in your forward fold, take some free movement, rocking from left to right. You can bend a little bit to one leg more than the other. This is where you can tweak each position to what you need more. But we're going to go with some sumo squats. Having the hips high, head low, and then pulling yourself to the bottom of that squat position. And then cycling through. In the bottom of your squat, you also have that opportunity to rock from left to right, to open up into the ankles, the knees, the calves, which is going to influence, right, how the hips, the lower back, and the mid-spine feel. If particularly you want to open up the mid-spine more, in the bottom of your squat, open up to the ceiling, one arm at a time. So pressing the tricep into the inner thigh. And another reminder through each of these warm-up positions to take long, strong, deep breaths to help facilitate getting a little bit more comfortable in each position. 10 seconds. The next time you end up at the bottom of your squat, just walking on out into an all fours shape. You can take some rounding cat-cows or some circles of the spine left to right, some shoulder rolls. And just making the transition from standing to the floor. And then we'll meet into a tabletop. So the shoulders right over top of your wrists, knees right under the hips. We're gonna take bird dogs, kick your foot, reach the opposite fingers. We're gonna take them slow. Bring your elbow into your knee without letting any other part of the body rotate or move. Heel is as far away from your fingertips as possible. When you coil in, pause for 2 seconds. When you reach apart, pause for 2 seconds. Just taking a little extra time to focus on the control in each part of the bird dog. I know you've done plenty of them. But it's never too late to relearn it a little bit. Checking in that you're pulling your chin back, almost like you're purposefully giving yourself a double chin, but pull into that good neck positioning. We're going to take one more, reach out and reach back in. And then with the same leg, whichever leg was doing the moving, we're going to take fire hydrant circles. So I was just here. I'm going to use my left leg to 5 forwards and 5 backwards, like you're squeezing a tennis ball between the back of your knee and your hamstring. Another way to think of it is a pencil is attached to the tip of your kneecap. And you're trying to find that greatest circumference of the circle you can without rotating or bending through the elbows. Breaths in and breaths out for 5 on each side, or 5 in each direction, excuse me. Then we're going to get right to the other side. So reaching the other arm, the other foot apart from one another. Slowly bringing your knee in to tap your hand. And reaching your fingers and your heel far apart from one another again. Got about 15 seconds on these bird dogs. Slow through each inch of the range of motion. Checking in with the strength and stability of your core and your hips and your shoulders. And should feel like the stability of a plank. Take one more. And then 5 circles forwards and backwards on that leg. Slowly focusing on moving the tip of the kneecap in a nice full and complete circle. Now, whenever you hit with both sides, you can meet us. We're going to go from bear position into a light back bend. So from your bear position, you can take your opposite hand, reach for your opposite hip, your knee, anywhere down to the back of the ankle. Shift forward, letting your hips and knees drop, chin and chest peel open towards the ceiling. And we're going to repeat. So if you don't want to tap your shin, you don't have to. You can just cycle from here to here. But we're going to build upon this now to just open up some of those ranges of motion. Cycling from hips low and head high to head low and hips high. Got one person waiting up. Where's Sam? We got about another 20 to 25 seconds. And all we're going to transition from here is bringing your left foot on the side of your left hand. If you need to, you can let your right knee tap down to the floor if that range of motion is a little too deep. But take your left hand, reach forwards as far as possible. So the inside leg, or excuse me, the inside arm, reach forwards as far as possible. Up to the ceiling as far as possible, back behind you as far as possible. Let your eyes follow, and then retrace. To go deeper into your hips, you're going to pop that back knee off the floor. We're taking a total of 5 slow reaches to each position. Trying to push your front knee forwards, reach your back knee backwards. And after your 5th one, just take your front foot and you're just going to scoop it up to the ceiling. 3-point bear pose. If you want to open up into the front side of the hips a little more, just let your foot hang to the opposite side of the body. So letting the heel fall in towards your butt and then letting your foot fall across to feel this opening down the side of the oblique, front of the core, the side of the ribs. 15 seconds. Strong through both palms. Breathe deeply for 5, 4, 3. And rest, shake it out in whichever way you need. We're going to do the same step up with the rotation from the other side. So your other foot just slides on up. Back knee can stay down or up. We're going to take 5 big reaching circles. Pressing your back shin into the ground if you're keeping it on the ground. Breathing deeply as you're taking these rotations to keep flooding the body with beautiful and phenomenal oxygen. And after your 5th rotation, you can send that foot up and back towards the ceiling or up and across your body. Long, strong elbows and arms for the next 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. All right. Slowly finding your way on up to seating standing. We're going to transition and get ready for the first part, which is a gentle yet strong introduction. Okay. I'm keeping water handy, especially early in the morning here. Any break opportunity, definitely taking at least a small couple sips of water, especially during the first portion here since it's a little bit slower moving. So what we're going to take here for part 1 is going to be 4 rounds of a farmer's march, which I'll show that in a moment, a 60-second plank, and then 60 seconds of, if you have available, jump rope, pogos, seal jacks, sprinter, sit-ups, sprinter step-ups, low knees, high knees, something that's a plyometric. If you have like a bike, a rower, if you happen to be outside this early morning and want to do a small little jog, you can. We're going to take this for 4 rounds, so really getting a good strong and stable base with a little bit of a heart rate and cardiovascular bump thrown in there to keep the body stimulated. So for your farmer's march, if you have 2 dumbbells, you can hold both dumbbells at the same time. We'll say this is the ideal setup if you have something that's enough. This is going to be a slow march. Lifting the foot up, holding for a second, and just demoing, holding for a second. The goal here is obviously keep your balance. It adds up. So be mindful that you're getting your knee as close to your, I'll say hip height, but if hip height means that you have to compromise, whatever the tallest position you can drive your knee in without, we'll say, compromising the rest of the body shape. Now, if you only have 1 dumbbell, what you can do is, since it's 4 rounds, alternate 1 round on the left, the 2nd round on the right, back and forth. This just adding a little bit more of some side bending. Now, if your weight is not heavy enough, what you can do is throw them into a front rack or even have it overhead while you do the march. So you have options there. If you have a steel mace, a single kettlebell, a sandbag, those can all work the same, holding the steel mace or the kettlebell in one hand, both hands as the shoulders are overhead. If you have a sandbag, you could front rack it or hold it off the side of the body. For your plank position, it can be a full-on push-up plank. I would say start here and be here if you can for the whole entire duration. You can go to a kneeling plank, or you can bring your hands up to a box, bench, chair for an elevated plank position. And of course, if you're most comfortable on your forearms, have fun with it. And then 60 seconds of jump rope. Pogos, whether you're taking your seal jacks, your jumping jacks, taking step-ups, sprinter step-ups, or a moderately speed step-up. Now, something that's nice is low knees. So just like a running in place, allows you to stay tall. You can play around with bringing the knees a little higher, or even moving from left to right with sort of a lateral shuffle. So those are your 3 options for the 60 seconds. I have the timer running up here. So we're gonna have 60 seconds of moving and 10 seconds of transition. 4 rounds through. Are there any questions? Got a full house today. I love it. I love it. All right, we're gonna get rocking in about like 20 or 25 seconds. Again, farmer's march coming first, plank coming second, and then moving a little spicier third. All right. We are going to get started in 10 seconds. First thing on the menu being your strong march. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And right from the get-go, focusing on a strong grip. So feeling each of your fingertips holding on to the weight, not just letting it pull your body or your shoulders down. If anything, you're gently shrugging back up on the weights to affirm how tall can you stand. And when you make that foot switch, be able to hold for a few seconds before smoothly switching to the other leg. If balance feels tricky, lock your eyes onto something, or maybe you just play with letting your toe tap. 10 seconds. Rest, shake it out. Setting up into your plank position. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Push-up plank, low plank, elevated plank. This is how slow and long can you breathe. Spreading the fingertips nice and wide so you feel your thumbs, your pointers, your pinkies, your rings, and your middle fingers all pushing down to the ground. Spinning the elbows so they face forwards just a little bit to align and set the shoulder joint in. Pulling the kneecaps back away from the floor, 15 seconds. Check back in with slow and long breaths. Rest. All right, picking your little high intensity move here. I'm going to start off with jump rope myself. Let's see if I don't get whacked in the shins. Got 60 seconds. Now this is going to get the heart rate up a little bit. So you're using this as a time to manage good breathing. Strong inhales in the nose, long exhales out of the mouth. 25. And whatever you're doing, while you're even doing it in place, you can adjust the speed if you want it to feel more cardiovascular. Although it may look and feel a little silly, it actually has a lot of translation to good hip, ankle, knee, core strength and stamina. And rest. We're going back into that farmer's march right into round 2. 3, 2, and here you go. Each round, slightly going to be a change, getting a little warmer. The grip maybe feels a little something, something as we go. So check back in that the standing foot is strong, driving down into the ground. The lifting knee is pulling up without leaning backwards. and that your belly button is pulling in backwards towards your spine, keeping a nice strong and stacked rib cage. Just about 15 seconds. And remember, you can change from a low farmer's to a front rack or an overhead farmer's as you feel necessary. 3. Rest. Coming into your plank pose. 4, 3, 2. Long breaths. Checking in from the spread fingertips to the spin elbows, the pulled back kneecaps, to the strong breathing where your belly button pulls up towards your spine. Halfway. Check back in. Fingers, elbows, shoulders, belly button, knees. Five, 3, 2, rest. 60 seconds of something. Jumping jacks, sprinter step-ups. It can be pogos, seal jacks if you have a jump rope available. If you have a medicine ball to slam, slam a medicine ball. It can be lateral shuffles, skaters. If there's a specific movement that speaks to you that you enjoy, take that, even if I didn't mention it. Halfway. Breathing deep. How tall can you be through the spine? Jump rope is not my thing. Come back to that one later. Those too short. 5, 4, 3, 2. Shake it. Farmer's march. And here we go, another minute. Every round is a little different. As your heart rate changes, can you be mindful that it's not going to impact your stability? Strong hands, strong elbows and shoulders. A strong standing foot. When that knee lifts, holding for a moment before sliding back down. Ten seconds. 3, 2, park it. Plank hold. Find the variation that fits for you in 3, 2. If you need to swap it to planking from your knees, even for 10 of the seconds, because you feel your lower back starting to pop down like this, do so. If you need to elevate your hands, please do so. Find that sweet spot where you can be strong as well as supported. Spread fingers, spin the elbows. Legs are long and active calves. The kneecaps are pulling back towards the ceiling. We're past halfway. Deep breath. Rest. All right. About to finish up round 3. Another 60 seconds of moving and grooving. Here we go. If you don't have sprints or step-ups available, it can be quickly and shallow alternating lunges while keeping the chest nice and tall. Whatever you're picking, we're halfway. $15. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Last time in each of these, remembering about your strong structure for your farmer's hold. Proud chest, pulling the belly button back in. Yes, your breathing has changed. Try not to let it change your stability, your strength. Twenty seconds. Single digits. Hold the last 1 or 2 reps. Rest. One more plank. Deep breath, clear mind. It's 4 minutes of planking, everybody. Rock solid. Here we go. And try and have just 4 points of contact, even if that is a knee switch. Or if you've been on your knees, maybe that means it's a switch back to your feet to spice it up a little bit. Stick with it here. That's the halfway marker. Final plank hold. Spread fingers, spin the elbows, strong in the lower body. Check in with your belly button. Is it pulling up towards the ceiling just a little bit? Final 10. Rest. One more little high intensity bump, and then we will transition and rest before we dive into part 2. Ready, steady. Here we go. Maybe the breathing is coming a little bit more vigorous. You can breathe a little bit more entirely out of your mouth if you need to. Just checking that your head remains the tallest point of whichever movement you're doing. Teens of seconds. Five. Rest. Break. Water.
Wonderful job. So, two things, right? A farmer's march and a plank. I'm sure before you started it, you were like, I got that in the bag, 4 rounds, easy. And it may have snuck up on you a little bit. Snuck up on me a little bit, I know that. So, what we've got rumbling and
hi. I just got to leave in like 15. I'm getting my bees this morning, so.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I got to leave at 7 for that.
All right.
Just an FYI.
All right. Thank you. And the workout is posted if you have the opportunity to finish it later in the day.
Okay.
Awesome sauce. So, what we've got in part 2 here is in the blue. So we have an 8-minute every minute on the minute, meaning you're going to complete these 3 exercises in less than 60 seconds. Any leftover time in that minute, you get to rest. So if doing the swings, the bear squats, and the push-ups takes 47 seconds, you get 13 seconds to rest. If it takes you 40 seconds, you get 20 seconds to rest. If it takes you 55 seconds, you only get 5 seconds to rest. So the more efficient you can be at transitioning between the exercises, you're going to give yourself more time to rest at the back end. Okay? So you have 12 kettlebell swings. If you don't have a kettlebell available, or if you have a kettlebell available, it could also be a deadlift. You could also do holding it into your chest, hinge. So holding your kettlebell tightly right in. Here. If you want to keep it plyometric but may not have a weight, you can do lunge jumps. For a total of 12, you could do hinge jumps, which is that hinge back and jump. Now, if you have a dumbbell, you can swing a dumbbell. Just hold on to one end versus holding on to the handle. And if you have no equipment at all and want to keep it less plyometric, going with a glute bridge march or an elevated glute bridge with your feet on a bench, a box, something like that, is a great substitution to still get very good hip extension without being plyometric. We're then going to take 6 bear squats. So transitioning quickly down to the floor. You have bear squats, keeping the arms long, trying to sit your hips back onto your heels. And you can spice this up by, this is one option, doing 3 per side, driving the knee to the back of the elbow. You could also do what we call a donkey kick, going from here, and it's as if you were going to pop up into a handstand, but just getting the toes off the ground, even if it means they're leaving this much or this much. Okay, something spicy, fun, a little different. After those 6, we're going to take 3 hand release push-ups. Now, with these hand release push-ups, to really recognize your hands are off the floor, you can do these from kneeling. You can do them from a full plank. You can also do them from an elevated surface. When you get to the floor, you're putting your hands out to the side like a swimmer. Toes are up. Then it's push back up. So your hand release is toes up, hands up. And you're breathing out. The entirety of the push-up, think of it like hitting a gas pedal on your car. You need to hit the gas pedal before you want to go so you can go. Start breathing before you push so you can finish the push. We're going to take this for 8 minutes. Same thing, I'll pop it up here on the timer. Does anyone have any questions as far as maybe a different variation or any other form cues? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Going once. Twice. We're going to 20 seconds. Okay. 12 swings, 6 bear squats, 3 push-ups. Going in 10. 3, 2, 1. After that 12th swing, smoothly transition into that bear pose.
Trying to sit your hips all the way back behind your heels. And for your push-ups, hands and feet come off the ground.
That's 40 seconds. 45, just so you have some reference for the later rounds. 50 seconds, we're going for the next minute in. 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we go, number 12. Some sort of a hinge or lunge jump. After your 12th swing, smoothly transition to your bear position. Whether it's your bear squat, your knee drive, or going for those little donkey kickoffs. That is 40 seconds for reference. Remember, use your breath to your advantage. Strong exhales to help your strength and power. 50 seconds. We're going in 10. 3, 2, third minute. And how can you save as much time between movements so you get to rest more all at the back end? That is 40 seconds as a reference. We've got 20 to rest. Ten seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Next minute's kicking in. Exhaling with each swing or deadlift. Transitioning right into that bear position. Strong arms. Whether your feet are leaving or staying on the ground, your toes and your calves are loaded. "40 seconds as a reference. 20 to rest. "10 seconds to rest. Right. And this is past that halfway mark. So we're on the back side of this EMOM. We're hitting in 3, 2. Here we go, next set. "43 seconds. We're going in 10 seconds. Take a big, deep breath. And in 4, 3, 2, 1. And just another check-in on, can you keep your transitions nice and smooth, nice and light and fast and dynamic. When you move into your bear squat, strong and open spread fingers. Whether you're doing the little donkey kicks, whether you're doing the knee drive or just your strong bear squats, and then owning each push-up, breathing out the entire duration of that push. That's 40 seconds as a reference. Good. Great job, everybody across the board, whichever movement you are on. 10 seconds until we lift off. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. "40 seconds as a reference. One more time, we gotta go. 50 seconds. Final time in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Each time in this last repetition, staying strong through the whole last set, making it feel and look just as strong as the first one. "40 seconds as a reference. Good. Stay strong to the finish. Stay strong to the finish. You got 10 seconds. 4, 3, and officially rest. Wonderful. Wonderful, 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 everybody. Breathing deep. All right. Resting before we dive into part tres on. Okay. So this one here, instead of being an every minute on the minute, now it is in as many rounds as possible. So this is where it's key to have a dumbbell. I will say, if you have options, keep them close by. I can't say, because I don't know exactly what sizes you have, if you should use the lighter one or if you should use the heavier one, but just have your options ready, whether it is a dumbbell or a kettlebell. Both can work here as long as you're comfortable with a clean with a kettlebell. Okay. What it's going to be is one side at a time. We're going to do a row, a clean or a snatch, a squat, and then you switch sides. Now I'll give you a little visual. You can do the row from bent over, or you can do the row from plank position. So I'll show the two different variations. You could be from plank. Take your row before you hop up into either a clean or hop up into a snatch. You could also do a bent over row to a clean or bent over row to a snatch, squat, and then repeat. So one side, 3 moves. The other side, 3 moves. The goal here is as many rounds as possible in 6 minutes. Now, how you're going to measure that is the timer is going to be running. So I'll give you a check-in at minute 1, minute 2, just to see if you're staying on pace. You can count if that's your form of check-in accountability, if you're going to count your rounds. So you can say, okay, my first 2 minutes were at the same pace as my last 2 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I can keep that same pace for the final two. Or if you'd rather just focus on your effort in the moment and not worry about counting and how many rounds, do that too. Whatever one works best for you as far as a check-in. Again, during these 6 minutes, I'll break away once or twice just to come up and check on all of you if you have your camera on. If not, I'll look at your lovely name that's on the screen. Now,
God.
what's up?
It says offset squat. Are we just doing a regular squat?
Yeah, so it's offset is just, it's on the one side instead of holding it in the middle.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was the feet need to be offset. Okay, sorry.
No, but I like the way you think. You might have stopped your phone if you want to do one of those. So, yes. Again, the row can be from the plank. It can be from up top. Use a dumbbell, use a kettlebell. But if you have more than one option, I'm going to say start with the heavier one and then work backwards from there. Right? So that's what I'm going to do. I've got my 20-pounder and I've got my 30-pounder. If everybody didn't come borrow all the weights from the gym, I'd probably pick something slightly bigger, but there are no 35s, there are no 25s. It's a good sign. Everybody's getting some good use out of them. 6 minutes, as many rounds as possible, okay? We're gonna get going in about 10 seconds. So take a big deep breath. Once you hit that gas pedal, keep it moving. We are going in 10. Get all three moves strong. Breath centered focus. 3, 2, 1. Strength endurance here. Strength endurance. As a check-in, that's 1 minute, peeps. 1 minute. A lot of rounds. Try to find a way where you don't have to break your form. Maybe that means a slight pause in between reps. That is 2 minutes. That is 3 minutes. We are halfway through this part 3. All right, check back in mentally. We're on the back half here, so everything now is coming downhill. All right, the first half is climbing up. The second half, now we're warm, right? We're rolling along. Smooth sailing. Just make sure you crack a smile in the middle of your reps. That's the key. Can't let the dumbbell know that it's crushing you a little bit. Smile and wave. Smile and wave. Final 2 minutes. That means you are 4 in. Awesome. Almost at the final minute. We're close. Final 60, final 60. All right, doing your best to stay right here. 45 seconds. Final 30, hold on. $15. All the way until you hear that buzzer. Time. Shake it out. Oh, Lord. Good job, everybody. Even though.
Thank you. Gotta fly.
You're welcome. Real quick, since everybody has their camera on, this is the biggest class I've had yet. So, round of hand for all of you of getting up on your nice and early Wednesday morning. So, with all the, before I dive into the finisher, you can cover your face if you want. Big thumbs up. Where's Michelle? We lost Michelle. Awesome. All right. All right, that was my first time trying part 3. I don't know about you. A little sneaky there. The finisher, good news, is you have options. There are some that are a little more gentle, some that are a little more aggressive. So you have your version of a sprint to top it off. Inside or outside? I doubt inside unless you have a treadmill. You're going to go for about 50 to 100 meters or yards. If you needed a gauge, you know, you can go from driveway to driveway or go, 2 mailboxes, whatever it may be. You're going to do a sprint. You're thinking 75% or more. And then you're going to walk back. Taking that for 4 or 5 rounds is a little bit of a cardiovascular bump. Okay, think of it being like a plate push or a sled sprint while you were here as a way to kind of finish up that way. If you'd prefer something not high intense like that, taking 8-minute to 10-minute walk/jog at a slower pace, going to be great. It is a cool and crisp morning. And what a better way to cool down and still get invigorated for the day than just getting a little separation in space. You could do 4 or 5 minutes of stretching, also outdoors. And if you're wanting something a little bit more spicy, pop your mic on. Tell me what you want. Tell me what amount of time you want to do it for. People are thinking.
I don't care. We could.
Can you give Brian and I, and whoever else wants it, like a 2 or 3 minute like core?
Yes.
quick-
All right. So, what we can take here, walk back and forth. So 2 that you can take, going from side plank first, 5 or 6 per side, going for rotation. Again, about 5 or so. And then you can take from tall seated. Now you can do this while holding on to something. You can go with hand supported tuck. Legs can be straight. You can do one leg at a time. Let's say 5 rotations to each side, and then take maybe 10 or 15 of those. Pop them back and forth. Press center for probably, I think, 2-3 minutes, whatever you got. Cool. You're welcome. Very welcome. All right, everybody. I hope this was worth your time, worth your while, and I thank you very much for being here with me on this Wednesday morning. See you all very soon. Take care.
Thanks, Sean.
So welcome.
Have a great day, everyone.
Sue, fantastic day.
Good day. Bye. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye, Tody. Bye, Diane. Bye, Sam and Bri.